So when I met my Sifu, Wong Sifu in Hong Kong, I had sessions with him, and then I asked him if I could be his student officially. He said, it doesn't matter how you call me, if you call me Sifu or not. It only depends if it's from heart to heart. And I was like, okay, I made a good choice. This is the right guy to teach me. And so my Sifu is like very happy, big Chinese guy, always full of energy. He is standing a little bit outside of the mainstream, so not all the people really know him, which is it's all right, but he's been always there. So the major things that happen in the lineage, he was there. So his school is in an old factory building, so there are lion heads and the weapons are there, and it's very different from how you imagine training in Europe or US. It's not like you would come at certain time and be there and be like, oh, I'm here. So I see sometimes the visitors would come and be like, oh, hello, Sifu, hello. And he was like, yeah, hello, because everyone was like, hello, I'm here. And they would just come when they have time, within the window of 3 hours or 4 hours when he was in the gym. And they would chat, they would train, and then leave when they want to or when they have to. So it was not organized in the same way as you would think. And big portion of that was training forms, which is what actually then brought me to doing some cross-training in Sanda, boxing, and then eventually getting or falling in love with MMA. But I do have of course, I do have experience with teachers where I I didn't feel seen, and I feel like I have to work hard, right, to be seen. But so I work hard, but then nothing changed. And sometimes it was not only when you are part of a big group, but even if it's just few people, you kind of feel like, do you really see me? So it's really, I know it's really difficult to find the right teacher. And I see that a lot. I hear it from my students now when they come. They are like, you see me as the person who I am, not only as your client, basically, or paying client, but as the whole person, with my life and with my responsibilities and what my schedule is my health, my goals, my dreams. And I think this is how it should be. My Sifu always took care of me as his daughter. So I was the first few times I went to see him for private sessions, we would always go for a dim sum after, which is dishes of small meals, lots of dumplings. And so he would always order the shrimps. And I didn't really like the shrimps because I'm European, I'm Czech, and we don't have ocean. So shrimps for me were a new thing. So I would eat them from being, polite, because I wanted to be polite. And he was always like, oh, I don't really like them, you have them, you have them. So I was eating those shrimps until I got to the point where I actually started to like them a bit, neutral, And then it turned out that he actually loves shrimps, but he ordered them because of that, and because I was the guest, he was offering them to me, because he wanted me to have the best dish on the table. I wish people would understand that you need to care of your body and your mind. And if you spend whole day sitting at the table and then you just go to your Kung Fu class and stand in your low Kung Fu stances, then it's not gonna improve your health. You need to do your mobility, you need to do your strength training, you need to do some rehabilitations. It can have the form of the traditional way, in Kung Fu and any other style, but it can also have the modern form. It's okay, but you need to take care of your body. And the same thing goes to training. You need to train smart. I see lots of coaches or teachers rely on repetitions. And I think it's not because, so they always say, oh, this is the traditional way to teach. I think this is the lazy way to teach. So if you just let people to like repeat something over and over and over, where is the teaching really? So for me, I don't give my students to repeat something 50 times because I know if they do that, they will focus on the big number and they will, the quality of their movement will eventually get like worse and worse. So I want them to be mindful with the training, with the movement they are doing. So I give them short period of time, or I give them some restraints, or I give them like specific goals to focus on, or it's hidden in some kind of like activity or even a game. But I want to be mindful when they train. And sometimes, for example, if you are working on your power or on your speed, you need a good rest between those repetitions, right? So you cannot do something 30 times in a row and think, oh, I'm getting faster by that. Like there is different way how to train for your strength. There is different way how to condition your speed. There is different way how to develop the speed. So another thing is like just taking the form and doing it from the beginning to the end, which is of course important, but it's not the only way how I teach my students and myself. So I divide the form into specific parts, and the length of the parts again depends on what you're working on. Are you working on conditioning yourself? Are you working on your memory to remember the form? Are you working on specific techniques? Are you working on explosiveness? So that change the way how you actually how you put the session together. You know, so for example, I use cycles in my sessions. So that means that everything you learn come back in like soon. So you kind of build on that. So even though if you are lacking, even though if you are missing something, or if you miss the session completely, still the things come back to you again. So it's like a cycle. You don't learn like linear, because that's not really possible, right? So let's say if you learn a punch, specific punch, then next time we can pair it up with another block, or next time we can put some resistance, and so on. I use lots of tools because now I teach online only. So before in Hong Kong, I taught at the universities. I taught just like privately, both kids and adults, both foreigners and Chinese people. And after I move out, that's kind of when I start teaching online. And so because my students are everywhere now, currently in like 4 different continents, I have to have ways how to correct them when they learn the moves when I'm not there. So I use resistant bands, not only to give them resistance when training, to develop their strength or their speed, but also to mark the space, to mark angles, to use it for understanding the application, to correct specific things, correct the trajectory of their moves. I use cones for the same reason. I use different kind of timers, and we use lots of video feedback. So they take video of what they do during their session, or just they do a recap for me and they send it over to me, usually like once per week, and I give them a feedback. I draw into their video, I talk to them. So we are constantly in touch. So what I never wanted to do was like an online course, and now the internet is full of those like Shaolin 2 months mastery, you know, become a Shaolin monk in 2 months and things like that. So I was like, I'm not gonna be one of those people. It's same, one of my strongest motivation in life is like, I'm not gonna be one of those people. So I started fighting MMA because I didn't wanna be one of those people who never fought, who are teaching martial arts, but are just teaching theory or dancing because they have no experience. So I was like, I need to have the experience of being hit and be like in trouble and having a fight. And okay, and then I became the MMA fighter and I fell in love with that, but that's a different story. And I also didn't want to be one of those people who create this like online courses when you just get videos and that's it. Because that's just like, for me, that's maybe just 1/3 of the whole thing, you know? So interaction with my students, feedback, but also like tracking things. So Kung Fu is very subjective in terms of like, we need the fighting as the reference point of whether movement is not wrong and when it's right. So it doesn't matter if you want to fight or not. But the self-defense, the fighting is the core of the martial arts, right? If you don't have it there, then it's just dancing. So the fight, the application, the function of the movement tell us when the movement is right and when it's wrong, right? So like, for example, just stupid thing is like, okay, so if I'm punching, I know I'm punching, but if I'm punching like this, or I don't know, like that doesn't work, right? So that tells us, okay, so that means it's wrong. So we have a reference point to know, okay, this is right, this is wrong. This works, this doesn't work. So it doesn't matter whether you want to be a fighter or not. But you know, okay, now I'm doing it right, now I'm doing it wrong. Most of my students, they don't want to be fighters. Some of them, they already been. I have ex-soldiers, I have people who have lots of combat experience, but now they want the knowledge of traditional styles as something different. So there are lots of different goals, right? So, and then I have, of course, met people who came to me and they were like, I want to become a fighter. I want to, you know, do this for fighting. So now when I teach online, I tell them, you have to go somewhere else because you need to have the contact experience, you know? So I was saying Kung Fu is subjective, so that's one thing. So you need to have the application to understand the function of the movement, so it's not so subjective. And the second thing is, it's subjective because you never know if you're getting better, because it's hard to measure that. It's not like running where you can measure your time, or like jumping when you can measure how high you jump. So I came with different kind of trackers that helps people to like see their progress, to see like how far they are. That's also why I use levels, so they feel like they are progressing and they know at each level what to really focus on. It's not like focus on everything, which is typical like Kung Fu thing. It's just like all at once. So for me, it's like narrowing it down to specific things. So I have all different like trackers that helps people to really see whether they are improving and have some kind of feeling of like, so they can celebrate their wins, you know, and that's very important. It helps with the motivation, it helps to keep you training, it helps with like the feeling of that you have done something, the ownership.